So now it's time to take each one of the cameras and hook them up to the computer to then start loading the clips from each camera. Now there are things that you can buy, like multiple USB devices that are power, where you can hook all the cameras at once or most of the cameras at once and do the downloading of the footage so that you can all have it organized in the computer. So what we have here is how I have the assets organized in my computer. It is recommended that you take your raw assets and you save them in an external hard drive, not in your internal hard drive in your computer. But for the sake of this example, I just want to show you the structure where I have, in this case, the GoPro raw cams, and then I also have the Samsung Gear 360 camera footage that I shot the other day, which I am going to use it later for another sample video. Now, we're going to manually uh, put in all the raw assets from each of the 10 cameras that we utilize in the 360 Rise Pro 10 camera rig. So the best way to do it is to literally individualize each camera. That you are going to be using. That way, when you're putting the assets, you know exactly which camera the shots come from. Now, depending on your computer or how updated your computer might be, there might be an issue where the GoPro software, the GoPro Quick desktop software, may work with your camera, meaning that you can hook up the GoPro camera into a USB port and then hook up the USB port of the camera to the USB port of the computer. Sometimes that will work, sometimes that may not work. In the case I'm going to show you is the worst case scenario where you literally have to pull out the micro SD card and insert it in the SD adapter card to put that into the computer and then do a transfer that way. So again, worst case scenario, let's go ahead and do that. I'm inserting the SD adapter from camera number 9. It's the one on top on the rig, and as you can see, it shows up right here, and this is the footage that we have that we did. So I am going to grab the whole thing in its entirety and put it right into where it goes. It's camera 9. Just in case, let's go and check it out. There it is. And this is the items that we shot on June 8th, 2018. Now, I'm going to show you another way to do the same thing, and that is using the software that comes with the GoPro cameras. So I'm just going to open that software. It's called GoPro Quick. Right now, it's not detecting new media. This is all media from the past. There it is. It's camera 10, so that's good, the fact that it's reading it that way. So what we are going to do is that we are going to make sure that we are telling the computer where it is that it needs to save the raw assets. Again, this is the same action that we are doing of inserting the SD card without the software. So here we go. GoPro RAW, and we are going to insert it here in camera 10 because that's the one. Once we do that, we say import files. And the import has been completed. We can delete the footage, or we don't have to, and see what it looks like on the folder. This is camera 10. The advantage is that it's already telling you 1010, and here's the footage. So there are some advantages of doing it that way. While here, it doesn't name the camera in particular. That's the advantage of having it through the GoPro Quick software, and it also gives you a date if that's the only item that has been recorded. So those are the two main differences. I'm going to go ahead now and keep doing the same thing that I just did for camera 10 for each one of the other cameras. So we have gone ahead and taken all the shots of each of the 10 cameras and use the GoPro Quick software in order to import all this data manually. Now, to show you what it looks like on my Finder, we go back to the folders as we had them created manually. We're going to do something else, but here they are. They all have the same date. Here are all the clips from all the different cameras. And as you can see, by using the GoPro Quick software, the greatest advantage is the fact that it will label them also as the camera that they're coming from. So we have double labeling. Now, we're going to do something else. We are going to do one more thing into this, and it's just a safety. We want to keep these files as they are. That way, other people can use them and share the projects. So what we are going to do is that we are going to literally create a copy of this folder. There it is. Now we are going to go into this folder, each one of the individual cameras, and we are just going to change their names. And you're going to see later when we go into the software why. Because when you go into the software and you open and bring in all these clips, there is no way for you to know which clip belongs to which camera unless you have memorized the actual internal GoPro names that GoPro has created within the camera. So as a safety, we are just going to go ahead and take each one of these internal clips and we are going to name them for each of the cameras they represent. So as I said before, we have created a duplicate copy of the raw assets. It is identical except that when you go deep into the logic tree, you are going to see that the camera 1 is named camera 1, the clip, and so on and so forth. So this means that now we have all the video raw assets in the computer. Remember that because the GoPro cameras that we have in the rig do not take a sound input, they only have the microphone that's included in the camera. The sound is not the best. And because the sample video has sound, we went ahead and we recorded sound with a microphone and a portable audio recorder. So what we're going to do is that we are going to bring in that sound and put that into our organized folder.
But outside of that, I don't know how.
So this should be it.
Round what the cameras will see
That's
counts.
it.
And you can...
So that is the sample sound in its entirety. So we go ahead, we do this, bring it in here. And I like to put things in folders just in case. And now we can begin the post-production process.